Thank you all for tuning into Big Mama Story Time. Story Time! Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to my page. Here we go. Hi guys, thank you all for tuning into Big Mama Story Time on today. Today I will be reading to you all Disney Dracula, and it's featuring Mickey and friends. All right guys, let's get into this. These books I actually do sell after I read them. What I do with these books, I actually sell them online on my page, my website, www.writedepot.com. I sell all of the books that I read on this page. So if you guys want to get these books, hit me up. All right, let's get into this. One gloomy night, Jonathan Maker, a young English lawyer, arrived in the remote land of Pepperlania. He had been sent to meet Count Dracula to sign important contracts. But when Jonathan asked the driver to take him to the front of the castle, he was left in the middle of the road. Hesitantly, Jonathan asked for directions, but the Pepperlanians angrily told him to go away. Finally, Jonathan spotted a lady sweeping in front of a little house. "Excuse me, madam, would you be so kind as to tell me where Count Dracula lives?" he asked. "We don't speak that name," she screamed. Jonathan realized that Pepperlanians were not friendly at all. In the middle of the night, Jonathan finally found the castle. It was dark and creepy, surrounded by a gloomy patch of red peppers and skeletal trees. The door opened and a mysterious shadow appeared. "Welcome, Mr. Maker. I have been expecting you. Come in," a hoarse voice said. Crazy how my voice is hoarse, huh, guys? Despite his creepy appearance, Count Dracula was actually the kindest Pepperlanian Jonathan had met. However, he was strangely fond of red peppers. "Help yourself. My peppers are so juicy," the Count said, offering some to Jonathan, who politely declined. Dracula took out his pen and started signing. Jonathan asked Count Dracula if he was planning to move to London. "Yes. People there are so much naiver than the people here," the Count answered with a sinister smile. When all the contracts were signed, Jonathan stood up to exit. Dracula stopped him, putting a bowl of boiling soup under his nose. It was red and smelled of pepper, old shoes, moldy closets, and mud. Ugh. "I'm sorry. I love to taste your soup, but I must get back to my fiancée Minnie in London," Jonathan said. He showed the Count a nice portrait of Minnie Mousie with her best friend Daisy Westenduck. When Jonathan told him that Daisy loved red peppers, Dracula's eyes sparkled in a scary way. "I must go now," Jonathan said, saying that trying to exit again, but the Count stopped him. "You'll stay here until you eat my soup," he ordered, locking Jonathan inside a bedroom with only red pajamas. Oh, wow. Jonathan was trapped. One day, Jonathan was thinking about escaping when something outside caught his eye. The Count seemed to be preparing to leave for London, loading his coach with huge crates full of soil and red peppers. Jonathan had a feeling that Dracula was up to no good. However, his escape would be easier once the Count was gone. Dracula left that evening without saying a word. From the window, Jonathan watched him drive away. He unlocked the door with the soup spoon and ran away as fast as he could. Meanwhile, the Count was on his way to London planning to visit Daisy Westenduck. A few nights later, Minnie was having dinner with Daisy Mr. Arthur Duckwood and Quincy Goofies at Duckwood's house. Everyone was worried about Minnie since her fiance Jonathan had disappeared. During dinner, Daisy was behaving strangely. Earlier that day, she had brought red peppers to the kitchen and insisted that the cook, Mrs. Duckfield, make a strange red soup with them. Now, Daisy was slurping it greedily. What's wrong with her? Arthur whispered to Minnie. That broth smells like stinky feet. Minnie didn't know what was happening to her friend. When she turned to confront her, Daisy was exiting the room holding a spoon. Daisy, where are you going? Minnie shouted, but her friend didn't answer. Unfortunately, a horrible surprise awaited them in the garden. Daisy was standing next to a dark figure they didn't recognize. The figure whispered something to Daisy and gave her another pot of disgusting red soup. When Daisy turned toward them, her eyes looked like glowing red peppers. Oh, wow. Who are you? Minnie asked. Instead of answering, the Count bared his sparkling fangs and then swoosh, turned into a bat and flew away. Daisy didn't notice him, seemingly hypnotized by her soup. Arthur called Dr. Horseword, who specialized in impossible cases. Daisy kept repeating the strange list of ingredients for the stanky soup. A few minutes after Minnie put Daisy to bed, Arthur and Goofies came in with Dr. Horseword. The doctor wore a huge garlic collar around his neck. Don't cover your nose. This smell will save you and your friends, said the doctor. Horseword checked Daisy's pepper-shaped eyes and pulled out a photo of Count Dracula. This creature is Count Dracula, and he hypnotized Daisy with his red pepper soup. We can't do anything but prevent him from returning and taking her with him, the doctor explained. Suddenly, Jonathan burst into the room. I was his prisoner for weeks, but never ate his soup. That's how I managed to escape, he said. I think Dracula has an obsession with peppers. We have to stop him before he hypnotizes everybody with his stanky soup. I'm just saying, Mickey, you're a little too late, but not really at the same time. The doctor explained that Dracula was actually a vampire that could transform into a bat. He probably flew into Daisy's room last night and hypnotized her to be obsessed with his soup. He also explained that only garlic would keep vampires away. It's the only thing that can neutralize Dracula's powers, the doctor added. All that garlic, they put garlic everywhere. Once the room was full of garlic, they devised a plan. I still have the address of the houses the Count brought here. Maybe we'll find him at one of them, Jonathan said. Then we'll cover him in garlic, destroy his powers, and send him back to Pepperlania, the doctor explained. They all agreed on the plan. Mrs. Duckfield promised to look after Minnie and Daisy during their absence. Unfortunately, their journey wasn't successful. When they reached the first house at 78 Crimson Road, they saw that Dracula had turned into a giant pepper. The same happened at 33 Magenta Lane. Then Jonathan spotted all the peppers and soil the Count had brought with him. Only those peppers can make the red soup. Without them, the Count won't be able to hypnotize anyone, Horsworth said. Back at the villa, Bat Dracula approached Daisy's window. Nothing will stop me this time, he said. Suddenly, a strong garlicky fragrance assaulted him, leaving him gasping. Garlic! I hate this smell, he screamed as he transformed back into the Count. Dracula was still determined to reach Daisy and hypnotize Minnie. When he entered the kitchen, he bumped into Miss Duckfield. "Excuse me, who let you in?" she scolded. Dracula was speechless. His hesitation gave her the chance to quickly wrap him in a long garlic chain. "Yuck!" he cried. "Not fair." You use hypnotism. That ain't fair. Upstairs, Minnie noticed that Daisy's eyes didn't look like Pepper's anymore. "Where am I? What's that horrendous smell?" Daisy asked, irritated. "It's the red soup you love so much. Would you like a spoonful?" Minnie asked. She was relieved when Daisy refused it. Dracula's curse had been lifted. Garlic had saved them. Meanwhile, Jonathan, Arthur, Goofies, and the doctor hurried back to the house. They hadn't found Dracula and were worried about Minnie and Daisy. Hotspur was sure that Dracula would return to take Daisy. "Faster, faster!" Goofies shouted to the horse as everyone held on tightly. Luckily, the heroes reached Arthur's house very quickly. They were surprised to see that the ladies had captured the Count and were celebrating with tea and sandwiches. Ladies can do it too, guys. Hello. As the doctor congratulated them, Arthur hugged Daisy. "Promise me you're never going to eat red soup again," he told her. "Don't worry, I prefer Mrs. Duckfield's garlic sandwiches," Daisy answered. Jonathan wanted to know more about Dracula's intentions. "That's simple," the Count answered. "I wanted to hypnotize everyone. If my plan had worked, the whole country would have been under my control. You ruined everything," he explained. Hotspur took garlic flowers from his bag and sprinkled them on Dracula's head, making him sneeze. "My powers!" the Count screamed. "All this garlic will block your powers for a long time," the doctor said. Then he drove the Count back to his castle. A few days later, Jonathan and Minnie began writing a book about Dracula. Daisy continued eating garlic. Mrs. Duckfield had discovered a new love for garlic and was studying lots of yummy recipes that would keep vampires away for a very long time. All right, guys, that is the end of Disney's Dracula featuring Mickey and Friends. Now, on the case of garlic, I love garlic. I use garlic. I cut it up and I use it in my food. I love it when it's cooked. But yeah, garlic is a very strong smell. Something like onions. It'll make you cry if you're not careful. But I like the book. Hope you guys liked it too. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my page if you haven't done so already, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye.